On this episode of the Procedurally Generated Show, Ethan earns a new title and Tony rails against greedy developers. We talk about the week's biggest news and answer your questions. Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me this week, I've got Ethan.
Joining you this week is me.
It is you. It is you. And today, as of this recording, is your birthday.
It is.
Happy birthday, good sir.
Thank you, good sir.
According to what I posted on Facebook, you turned 10 this week. So, there you go.
Oh no, there's just a lot of celebration stuff that happens this month. Like, Xbox or Halo became like 10 years old. WayForward's apparently 30. Shantae is 20.
And every gaming convention in the world was canceled.
That too.
So, did you get your Ouya credit?
No, he finally he's like, you know what? Here, figure it out. And it was just a Nintendo Switch eShop code.
Yeah.
I'm glad Shelby could take a joke on that one.
Yeah.
Either that, or he was actually waiting for me to tell him what I really meant. I was just like, dude, you don't have to send me anything. Is what I want to say.
Yeah. Well, he's not going to let the day go by without giving you something.
It was well received, and so was the phone call I got this morning from Cole.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that's weird. I just invited him to my chat party on PS4. Why is he calling me? And I answer the phone, and I hear, okay, 3, 2, 1, and him and his wife are singing "Happy Birthday."
Happy birthday.
Yeah, it was a good day.
Well, it's always good when you have a good birthday. So, well, I'm already enjoying my birthday present. I got a couple weeks to go, but my wife got me the Xbox for my birthday. So,
That's a very early gift for you.
yeah, it was. But that's okay. I don't mind.
Bet you
I've
can
been
install a
playing.
disk drive in there sometime.
I don't know that I
Mm-hmm.
can.
I mean, I have a spare Xbox here. We can rip that disk drive out and you can wire it in.
I have thought about getting already have thought about getting an external hard drive for it so I can have more space.
I'm pretty sure Digital Foundry said there's like a disk drive slot in there where like it's just a SATA cable. That's all it is.
Really?
Yeah, I think I'll have to go back and rewatch that or find or read the thing. I don't know. I thought it was Digital Foundry.
Well, if I can just plug it, I have
I
a
mean, you're gonna
hard.
have to avoid a warranty doing it.
I have no problem opening up an Xbox. If I could just plug a hard drive in there, I've got a spare laptop hard drive if that's what it needs.
Do that another day.
I could add another terabyte of storage to that thing.
I'm just saying, throw a CD reading thing in there.
Oh, I don't need a CD reading
Yeah,
thing.
you do. You got to play
I
Bullet
mean, I do.
Witch.
I got to play Bullet Witch. I looked to see if I could get Bullet Witch on the Xbox One today, and I cannot. So
Not with that attitude.
it's not in the store.
It never will be. I'm pretty sure they said they were already done with the entire list of games they're porting over for backwards
Yeah.
compatibility. So rest in
Uh,
peace, Bullet Witch. You had your
eh,
chance.
I'm not buying another 360 just to play Bullet Witch.
You hear that, people? We need to find a cheap 360 for Tony's birthday.
It, you figure that out. I'll figure out how to stream it, and I'll play the whole game.
You've just spilled your doom.
I don't know how I'm going to hook up a 360 to my computer to stream it, but you know,
Doesn't yours have the secondary the in HDMI port?
no, it just has an HDMI output.
Really? Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I
I
cannot
have
plug.
solutions to this, but I don't know if I want to do that.
I just have an HDMI output, so I cannot send a signal into the computer through HDMI.
Okay.
sadly. So no Bullet Witch stream, unfortunately. But what have you been playing this week, sir?
All right. All right. All right. I know I've talked about this in the past. I'm probably going to talk about it in the future.
Bullet Witch.
But hear me out. Destiny.
Destiny.
Also, my cup is making noises at me.
Cups should
Well,
not
not
be
cup.
making noise.
It's more one of those little squeezy drink, or not squeezy. One of
Uh,
those drink things where you flip the lid and drink from it.
one of those. Is it
Uh,
squealing at you?
yeah, it's squealing at me. If it does it again, I'm gonna try to get the mic close to it. Oh, it's doing short breaths. Okay, well, whatever.
So what happened in Destiny this week?
Okay, so Tuesday is reset. That's whenever they reset for the whole week,
Hmm.
and this is the last Tuesday, or Tuesday is the start of the new season. So everything on this current season is coming to an end. Well, the dawning's already over, but that was part of the season. Rescuing Saint 14, doing all sorts of stuff for him, doing some other things related to him, going into the halls of time and exploring this entire infinite forest thing that they call it of digital data, and all that's all that. Stop squealing at me, cup. All that is coming to an end. Well, not all of it. I mean, some of it you can still access, but like you can no longer go into the halls. I don't think you can go into the halls of time and find Saint 14 anymore because that mission's already over and done with. And they've permanently moved him to the tower, even if you haven't gotten him. So he's there whether we like it or not, and everyone likes it. But because the new season's coming up, and that they're getting rid of all that, there's apparently the title is not going to stay. So you have to get the title now, or you don't get it at all. I guess is what they're trying to say. Usually it used to be it was get the title, and or you could get the title even after the season. You just can't get the pin from Bungie's store. You can't throw money at them to have a physical object with the badge pin, whatever you want to call it, so you can put it on your shelf and brag about it to your friends later on. So I took a look at what my progress was. I was needing to do quite a few things, but they were all very doable things. Some of them were just a little harder to do than others. And with the help of Stuart Mogg and Cole Grissom, I completed that stuff this morning.
Nice.
Got my new title, Savior. Got pretty good with linear fusion rifles,
Hmm.
and that's not something to brag about. And got decent with the Truth rocket launcher. It well, actually got more than decent. Got pretty good in Gambit doing invasions on there. So since I'm doing the thing that I hate on there, which is you people will invade on there, and it's just, oh look, they're using the one homing rocket launcher that tracks and explodes on, like, the rocket doesn't have to hit you, it just has to be in proximity and explode. So it's
Yeah.
like, oh, here's this rocket launcher that requires little to no skill. There's your insult about the rocket launcher being used. But it's also an exotic. And it also has 3 rounds in it. Unlike most of them have one, maybe two, and you have to reload and it takes a while. This one you have 3. That's probably more than you need,
Yeah.
and it's pretty good to use. Like I was going in and actually cleaning up and taking out the whole other team with what I had access to in the rockets. Get back just in time to grab more rockets. Wait a moment and then go back and invade again and do it all over again. So yeah, had a lot of fun doing that sort of thing.
Sounds like it.
And this is coming from a guy who hates the PvP aspect of Destiny because it's just a bunch of rude people for the most part.
Yeah.
And the new season's going to be bringing up trial. It's bringing trials back. Let's see, Destiny 1 had Trials of Osiris. It's 3-man team versus 3-man team, and it's just a really challenging fest of take out the other team so that way you can progress and unlock something, I guess.
Hmm.
Destiny 2 started with Trials of the Nine. It was essentially the same thing but different. Different, like you're uh, a different group of people are running the event. That's all it was. And
Yeah.
then they got rid of it and changed the triumph associated with it because no one could get the triumph. And now they're bringing back Trials of Osiris with a new season, so that's going to be interesting to see the return of, I guess you could say. And I might be more or less prepared for that now, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just got to use the cheese tactics where it's like, oh, everyone hates this happening to them, so that's what I'm going to do. But yeah, Destiny. There you go. That's what you missed out on. I talked way more than I expected I would about that. And
Well,
Tony, do you have any questions?
no, I played a little bit of Destiny this week, but
Really?
not very much. Yeah. I get in there and just play a few minutes at a time anymore. I don't spend a ton of time playing it.
So you're still on the Red War, right? Base.
Sure.
That's the base game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah, we need to work on that. I at least want to see you finish the base game of all things, because that's a pretty fun little mission at the, or two missions at the end there.
okay. Yeah, I'm not opposed to it at this point, but it's just finding the time to do it. So, uh,
What have you been
let's
playing?
see. I played a little bit of a surprise release this week. The Final Fantasy
Surprise.
VII remake demo drops.
The Final Fantasy VII remake demo, you say?
I do say,
I played that as well.
I do. It's really good.
It was
Like
a very good nostalgia trip.
it was. You could tell. I could find places where I was like, "Ooh, this feels really familiar." Like the layout feels familiar, but
The,
because everything is now in, you know, it's not this top-down pre-rendered thing anymore. You're actually in the environments
mm-hmm.
exploring. It feels new. It feels fresh. Uh, they're playing with verticality and spacing a little better than they could back on the PlayStation One.
A little better, you say?
So there are things that are different, but um, for the most part, you're running through that first section. The demo lasts up through the explosion of the Mako reactor, or as I have come to find out, it's pronounced Mako and not Mako, like I've been pronouncing it for years and years and years.
How have you been pronouncing Shinra?
Shinra.
Okay. I
So
mispronounced that wrong as a child.
really,
Yeah.
did you pronounce it Shinra or Shinra?
Closer to that one.
Okay. um. So yeah, and they have like we've known upgraded the battle mechanics. It's much more action oriented this time. It's a combination of action and menus. So you have total control over the characters, and you can flip back and forth between the different characters and use their different actions. So like there will be things or enemies that Cloud can't reach, and so you'll flip over to Barrick, not Barrick, Barrett. Uh, Barrick is from Paladins, which I've been playing a bunch of this week.
It's
Um,
forgivable.
so you flip over to Barrett, and you can shoot the enemies that you can't reach with Cloud, and then you flip back to Cloud, and you can continue on. Those are the only two characters I think you get to play in the demo.
Yep.
So
But you have Jessie there, and she's way more affectionate towards Cloud than original.
yeah, there's a little bit of changes to the dialogue too. At one point, I think it's Jesse asks you how you know Tifa, and I don't remember that from Or how did you meet Tifa? I think is what.
She, yeah, she was asking how y'all met, and then Barrett just kind of comes in really angrily. He's like, "We
Yeah.
got a job to do." It's like, okay, guy with glasses, I'll do that.
um,
It's because he's too cool for us.
so yeah, the character models look fantastic too. Like, oh man, everything about this is making me want to rethink my I'm not playing this game until the full thing is out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to have to buy 3 games to get the full thing. I want to wait till they put it all in one package.
Right.
Um, but man, this was so much fun, and it felt so good to get back into Final Fantasy VII for the first time in almost 20 years.
Gosh.
Because I played this on PC. I didn't play it on uh, PS1.
Yeah, you had to play with IDOS's interactions on there and changes,
Yeah. Uh,
which I don't
so
know
the
what they did on there other than just porting it.
I don't know. So that version of Final Fantasy was the only one I knew for years and years and years. Uh, I think it wasn't till the PS3, till I got a PS3 a few years ago, that I actually played it on a PlayStation.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, this is very, very well done. You can tell that they wanted this to be right. Uh,
Yes.
you don't remake Final Fantasy VII and screw it up. The
I am.
combat system.
Oh
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Go. No. No. Go ahead.
And say the combat system. I really like the combination of the two. I wouldn't mind if they had just straight ported the menu based battle system over. But I think they've done a good job of balancing the straight action versus using commands and giving commands to the other characters during fights, so that you can coordinate and do things like staggering enemies, which I don't think you could do in the original. That's something that's been added to the series in more recent releases. Um, so you can stagger enemies and do more damage to them, um, if you can combine your character's attacks well enough.
Yeah, that's gonna take some getting used to because it's like I'm way too focused on just trying to maintain one character, and it's like eventually I'm gonna have a 3-man party going on here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like okay, I need to get better at swapping and telling them to do other things.
Yeah, and that's something I didn't do a ton of in this. I focused probably too heavily on just controlling one character for the most part during the battles.
I got really
And
good at it during that one fight. You know the
the
one.
fight against the Scorpion at the end took me like 20
Oh
minutes.
god, that thing was a slog to go through.
It
I don't see how
really
there's already
was.
speedrunners doing just speedrunning the demo, and they're doing it within 15 minutes. That's amazing to me.
That's
It
insane.
took like 50, I mean, even with the nostalgia thing where I'm looking all over the place, it still took over 15 minutes just for me to get to where the Scorpion is. Not to mention, it took another at least 10, 15 minutes just to, well, 10 minutes, not 15, to outrun a bomb with a 20-minute timer on it.
Hmm.
So this is boggling my mind. It's like, are there fights we can just skip? Apparently, with so I guess.
Maybe. Um, I saw him taking down some characters in like 2 seconds that I was fighting for a minute or two.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know how they did it. Uh, but playing through this, and having had all of the different Final Fantasy VII media over the years, you sort of know what those characters look like in 3D with, the heavy CG rendering
Mm-hmm.
that Square Enix is really good at. Uh, and then I saw a screenshot of the original and this one back to back, and I was like, I in my mind, Final Fantasy VII looks like this one that's really pretty and nice and really high resolution. But I know I played that other version where Cloud had squares for hands.
The big Popeye arms, right?
Yeah, he doesn't have the Popeye arms anymore.
I hope there's DLC to give you like that version of him.
Oh, that would be fantastic if you could do
Just a
like
skin. That's all I want.
no, I want to be able to do like with Halo. Like I found out that you could do in the Master Chief Collection that I had forgotten about, and hit a button and just go back and forth between the two.
Can't believe you thought you broke the game.
I thought I broke the game because I forgot you could do
And I
that.
called it
Switch
low
back and
res
forth.
version.
Because I was looking at the skyline in Master Chief Collection. I had just gotten to the Silent Cartographer mission and was looking out over the ocean at the Halo,
I
the ring.
Man, you said Sonic Cartographer. I knew exactly what you were talking about. Man,
So,
Halo. Yeah.
and I was doing something and accidentally hit the capture button on the Xbox and completely changed the visuals, and I thought I had broken it. So I was terrified for a moment till I found out what button I had hit and brought the visuals back to the more modern looking high resolution version. And then I just spent time looking at different things and hitting the button and comparing them and got real close up on one of the soldiers' faces and just went back and forth between the two. Um, Not realizing just how much of a difference 10 years has made for that series. It
Man,
was crazy.
what day is that game coming out?
What game?
Final Fantasy VII. Is it? It's
Uh,
later this month. What, the 20th?
it's no, it's not the 20th.
Is it
That's
next
the
week? Please
Animal
tell me it's
Crossing
next week.
date.
That'd be way better.
Uh, actually, I don't think it was supposed to have come out this month, but it's not anymore. Um,
FFBI remake
I think
release
it's like June now.
date. Don't tell me April 10th.
Okay, yeah, April.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
So,
That's like a month away. All right. I'm
yeah.
just gonna freeze myself and then get thawed out, so that way it's just like in the blink of an eye.
You can't go to sleep and just wake up on Final Fantasy Day, unfortunately.
I could try.
So, yeah, but I really do not want to pay $180 for this game.
Okay.
So,
I want the
um,
whole game. Here's the money. Give it to me now.
you're gonna have to send me a copy of every release if you want me to play it beforehand.
So what
Because
we should do is make you play Final Fantasy VII for viewers. The original.
I'd do it.
Do it. I'll wait.
Well, I'm not gonna do it right now.
Let me down, Tony. Let
I
me
don't
down.
have anything. I don't have it on anything I can currently stream. Like I could get it on PC or I could get it on PS4, but
I
I
probably
don't.
need to set you up like with the share thing on my Steam list and just say, here, you have access to it on Steam. Play.
That's a long game, man.
We'll study speedrunner tactics and you'll be done in half an hour.
Oh yeah, sure,
Any percent full game. All bosses.
sure. Maybe what I can do is just play through the demo of the remake and record that. Um, that could be done.
That is a
So
thing.
that is a thing. I could do that. So, but that is what I have been playing this week. I have now had to tell myself you're not buying every version of Final Fantasy VII Remake. You're waiting until the whole thing comes out. You have to, or you'll go insane. So, let's take a quick break. We will come back and we will talk about the news. You know, Ethan, that I am a big proponent of GeForce Now.
Yes, you are.
I signed up for it the day after they went public with the service and have been playing. I have bought PC games because I've
It
been able
has
to play
been
them.
a world changer for you,
It has.
and I'm sure everyone is shocked by it as well. I mean,
It
just
it
everyone that
absolutely.
knows you is like, what?
So yeah, I've been on Steam. I have all of the PC launchers that you can have, and I've got games in all of them now.
Hmm.
Uh, even Origin, I have an Origin game, even though it's a free to play Origin
I
game.
have
I
like
have
7 Origin games. It's not a big deal, man.
so, um, and man, I was looking through Origin Access this week for $5. Man, that their lineup on PC is really good. They have so many games available on EA Access on Origin. So, um, but yeah, I'm a huge fan of GeForce Now because of what it can do for people who are, lower income, can't afford big gaming rigs, play in a lot of different places, and can't take their PC with them, but can log into maybe a laptop that doesn't run very well or on their mobile phone and can play their games wherever they happen to be. Um, this week was pretty rough for GeForce Now. A couple more publishers have pulled their games. 2K pulled their games
And
from
nothing of value was lost there.
uh, pulled their games from GeForce Now, and what really set me off
I'm
this week.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Who was it?
No,
2K
sir.
and 2K and
Well, that was the big one.
oh, okay.
Um,
I had to throw in my little snarky comment. I'm sorry.
the other one was an indie developer, and that's where I was just like, it's getting to be too much.
Oh, that's where you started asking
Um,
for explanations from the developers, and no one's giving you a proper explanation.
yeah, nobody's giving me anything.
Yeah.
Um, but the developer of a survival game The Long Dark, his name's Raphael van Lierop. I think he is the head of, or one of the producers at Hinterland Games, I believe. Um,
Okay.
tweeted out this week, sorry to those who are disappointed you can no longer play The Long Dark on GeForce Now. NVIDIA didn't ask for our permission to put the game on the platform, so we asked them to remove it. Please take your complaints to them, not us. Devs should control where their games exist.
Well,
Um,
while that statement is true where they should exist, all Nvidia is doing is letting me have access to my Steam library.
exactly.
So I don't see what the deal is. I'm not. It's not like I'm playing on a different console. I'm still playing on a PC, quote unquote.
Yep. You have still gotten the money from me to play the game or to buy the game, and it is on Steam where I can access Steam through GeForce Now and should be able to play that game where I want. Um, the response to him was not very nice. He got reamed on social media with a lot of people calling him out. Um,
And he still thinks he's right. That's the sad part.
he does. Um, and during this long tweet thread that I even got involved in, it was probably my most seen tweet and most interacted with tweet, where I talked about making purchases and buying games because I can play PC games courtesy of GeForce Now that previously I couldn't do. So it only seems to benefit publishers and developers because they're going to get money from people who wouldn't normally be able to give them money. And a lot of people were saying the same thing. The reaction was very overwhelmingly negative to what he said. And during this whole tweet thread, he essentially confirmed that one of the reasons that he was against this was because he couldn't control future ports of the game to platforms such as mobile. Um,
That
and what
I don't know why he's concerned about a mobile platform. It's you don't just you're not tapping on your phone screen to play these games, are you, Tony?
No, but he wants to be able to release a mobile port of the game and get
He
people to buy it again. And
there. I
he
was about to say
basically
there's no reason to do a mobile port because people don't need a mobile port because they can get already get it from Steam like that. But you just
exactly.
explained why he wants to do it is for more money.
And one person hit the nail on the head, replying to him, said, I expect we'll see much more of this. Play your Steam library anywhere services are amazing for the consumer, They're potentially terrible for devs. It kills the ability to commercialize ports for new platforms, particularly mobile, or to negotiate exclusivity deals. His response was exactly.
There we go.
So,
Confirmed what he meant right there. It would be it would essentially be if each of the game consoles, your Switch, your Xbox One, or your PS4, had an app on there that let you emulate. That's I'm just using that in a loose term. Essentially, you're streaming your like you have a PS4 on your Switch or Xbox One on your PS4, whatever. And it's like, okay, I have access to my entire library of games there, and you just buy them digitally. You would have no reason to buy a Nintendo Switch or an Xbox One. You just do it all from your PS4 then,
mhm.
or heck, at one point you might be able to do it from all from your PC. So it's I see what I see the issue, but I mean, they need to move on with the times. This is what the world's coming towards now,
Yeah.
and it's like adapt, adapt in a way that's going to make sense instead of seeming like a selfish, petty, money grubbing
Well,
game developer.
and one of the big arguments from developers like this is, well, I can't control um, how the game runs on mobile. I can't optimize it for mobile. I can't, make the text bigger, make the controls work the way, I think is best for the game to work on a mobile platform.
That's
Um,
fair.
and so I could, be hit with a bunch of negative reviews and potentially lose a bunch of sales because someone has a bad experience through GeForce Now because they're playing a PC game on a mobile device. Um, my argument to that would be GeForce Now users, most of them are not your standard everyday, mom and pop consumer. They understand that they're playing a mobile, a game.
They're just using it as a means of convenient access.
They're streaming it through GeForce Now, and they understand that it's not the game that is doing that. It is the server that they're playing on that could potentially introduce lag or that experience. And so they understand that and then just won't play that game if that's the case and don't care about giving you a positive or a negative review because of it. They're just going to play something else.
You
So,
know, he's right, but he's wrong at the same time. We're we know what we're getting ourselves into. Eventually, we'll hit the point where the new people are moved in. By that point, we should already have safeguards in line to adjust for said problems.
yeah.
Or you just put a disclaimer on there and say, "Hey, this will be hard for you to read if you're playing on your phone through your GeForce Now thing." I
Mhm.
mean, you have to treat it like you're walking on eggshells here, unfortunately, but
Yeah.
it gets the point across at some point, I guess.
Yeah.
Or I would hope.
You're not going to have the average user playing, subscribing to GeForce Now and playing the games. It's going to be people who understand the video game landscape and have looked for a solution outside of, just upgrading a PC, needing $1,000 to do that. Uh, and people are far more willing to say, you know what, I will spend $5 to see if I can play this game on, a laptop streaming it through the internet or on my phone streaming it through the internet. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, I'm out $5. Who cares?
Right.
So,
And besides, even, like Steam's got the refund policy out there. It's like if I can't read what I'm looking at in the game without straining my eyes on there, it's like, well, I guess I don't need this game on that I'm playing through my phone,
yeah.
and
And then
request
you
the
just
refund and be
go,
done
you
with it.
request the refund and you're done. Yeah, exactly.
And if someone's an idiot and leaves a bad review, well, you would hope that the fan base is like, this is what your problem is. You're an idiot for assuming you could do this on your phone. It's like I'm not
Yeah.
going to go and get a visual novel that that you play normally on like a 32-inch TV and then expect to be able to read it on a How big is an iPhone screen? Five
like
inches?
5 inches, 6 inches.
I'm not going to complain about that. I mean, it, it it's some common sense is used here on my end.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so like I do see both sides of the argument, but I think the side for is, for streaming platforms like GeForce Now, where you're buying the game from the developer or the publisher through traditional means, whether it's Steam, Uplay, whoever, and then you're playing the game on the device you want. I think that far the positives and the benefits for the consumer and the developer really far outweigh the negatives in that situation. And I think a service like GeForce Now has struck that perfect balance. Um, and GeForce Now is not the only streaming service out there. There's another one out there that's really big, or not really big, but is people know. It's called Shadow, which does the same thing. There's some differences to the way you install games on Shadow versus GeForce Now. Um, but you're not seeing that with Shadow because I looked it up. They have, and someone from Shadow confirmed they have like 70,000 subscribers. GeForce
Nice.
Now, in the first 3 weeks of it being available to the public, had already hit 1 million. And I think that's the difference. You're not seeing people saying, sorry if you wanted to play your game on Shadow, because Shadow has a mobile app just like GeForce Now. You are accessing a cloud computer just like you're doing in GeForce Now. The subscription price is $25 a month,
Ew.
um, whereas GeForce Now is $5 or free. You can play for free. So in that case, Nvidia is not making a dime from the player because they don't sell the games, and they're using the free tier to get an hour of playtime. I think the big difference is they saw those subscription numbers for GeForce Now jump really high, really fast, and they saw those dollar signs.
Looking at the list of people who have pulled out of using GeForce, or the devs that have pulled out from GeForce Now, like I can understand Activision Blizzard. A lot their games have a lot of text in there, and having that scaled down to that screen size, yeah, that I can see that being an issue. Capcom, that's kind of a 50-50 on there. Like a lot of their games can be action oriented, or it could be kind of text heavy. It kind of depends. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. EA, well, uh, I don't have an argument for them because it's EA, and I'm not playing Sims on my phone. Like,
No,
and I'm not going to buy the mobile version of anything. And let's see, what is this? Square? Is that Square Enix?
yeah, Square Enix is.
Really? Square?
Yep.
How dare you, Square Enix? I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I understand why they're doing that too.
and Bethesda pulled all of their games with the exception of one, and it's
Yeah,
the worst of them.
Wolfenstein. The new.
Wolfenstein Youngblood.
Oh, it's not that it's bad. It's just not what people wanted. Nobody
That is
asked for that version of the game.
that is the only version. That is the only game that Bethesda has left on the service. So
I'm sure part of this is like, no, we want money. Is what part of this is for some of these people. But I mean, the 2K guy, at least he confirmed what his issue is on there. So the ability to work with it is out there now. As far as
mhm.
like we have an idea, so something can be done. In other news, though, Epic Game Store is fully supporting GeForce now.
Yes, I meant to put that in the show notes.
I knew you did, but we didn't get there, so I figured you were just gonna mention it randomly.
So yeah, they this week came out and said we are doing what we can to make sure our entire library of games uh, that are available on the Epic Game Store will be available. We're working with the developers to make sure that we can get their games on GeForce Now. Um,
Good guy, Epic Game Store. Who knew?
So Epic Games making a very pro-consumer move.
You know, they actually haven't been doing too bad lately. I mean, I haven't heard any drama or anything based around their practices or
Yeah.
anything as of what 3 months already. So
Hmm.
keep up the good work, Epic Game Store. I don't mind having you on my PC at the moment.
Oh no, absolutely. And
Also, I got like 2 free games today, so yeah.
I I responded to that Epic Games. I remember who was it? Tim?
Was it Schaefer? No, that's a
No,
different guy. Who am I thinking of?
that's Double Fine.
Double Fine. Tim
I don't
Sweeney? No,
remember.
Tim Sweeney. Sweeney Todd.
Tim Sweeney. Yeah, it is
Okay,
Tim
it was
Sweeney.
Sweeney. Okay, cool,
Yeah,
cool,
Tim
cool,
Sweeney.
cool.
I kept thinking Tim Cook, and I was like, no, that's Apple. Um, Tim Sweeney. Yeah, I responded. I was like, thank you for making this, pro-consumer move. I've also publicly tweeted to Ubisoft thanking them for keeping their games on GeForce Now.
Our
Um,
games are on what now?
Shh,
Dang
I
it,
should know
Tony.
better. It's all my fault. I like The Division. I like Assassin's Creed. I've been playing all of those on GeForce Now. So, yeah, it's bad news this week, but I don't think it will continue to be. I'm still very positive on the outlook of GeForce Now and where it's going to go. Um,
They will have to break under public outcry eventually, I'm sure. It's like,
yeah,
hey, we want to play our games, and you're saying no, so we're not buying your games.
yeah, and it's been very, you know,
Oh, who am I kidding? We're still gonna buy their games either way.
it's been, I have enjoyed seeing that the response to people pulling their games from GeForce Now has been, let me play my games. And it's been very much pro player and pro consumer in that respect. So that's what continues to give me hope for a service like that.
You know what, listener, viewer, whatever y'all true believers, let us know how you feel about this.
Absolutely.
And
Um,
if you're against GeForce Now and streaming games or whatever, get out.
well, I'm not going to say that.
Nah, no. Opinions are welcomed,
Absolutely,
even if they're
100%.
wrong.
Uh,
I'm okay. All right, all right. I'll stop playing. Uh, oh, so yeah, Nintendo PlayStation.
the Nintendo PlayStation sold at auction this week.
I wish I had
Uh,
known it was at auction. I mean, I knew it was going. I just didn't know what day. I would have
you weren't
loved.
going to be able to buy it.
No, no, I would have loved to watch it going on auction though, and watch the numbers just popping up.
So, yeah, it went on sale. It not went on sale. It went up for auction, and when the auction closed, the final total was about $360,000. Um, and it ended up going to the founder of Pets.com, Greg McLemore.
Pets.com. That's where you go like buy dog food and stuff, right?
Yes, that was a website that was really uh, famous a few years ago. They sold to Amazon, and
Okay.
Amazon actually owns Pets.com now.
Man,
Um,
good move
but
on his part, making money like that.
oh yeah, he sold it for a
Now he's
ton.
just throwing out pocket change towards this thing.
And he's founded a bunch of other websites that he's sold over the years, so he's made a ton of money. Um, and this isn't the first piece of like historical video game memorabilia that he's bought. And he actually says he plans on opening up a museum that will be open to the public for people to
I was going to
come.
say it belongs in a museum,
And exactly, I was going to pull out the Indiana Jones line and say this thing should be in a museum somewhere.
and this guy's
Um,
going to put it in one.
exactly, he's going to make it himself and put it up, and all of his
He
other.
does know there's a video game museum, right?
Well, yeah, that. But
I don't think he knows.
there are. I was thinking about this earlier, and I was like, we should have that one central video game museum, but there's museums for stuff all over the place. every major city in the country has like a World War II memorabilia museum or
Okay, I think I misspoke. There should is it video game museum or is it video game preservation museum? Like the OG stuff is there and all that.
oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's the thought that
So,
counts, I guess.
but yeah, so it sold for 360,000, which is a lot of people were expecting it might have gone higher.
Higher.
Uh, the
But
guy who owned it said, a while back that he was offered like $1.5 million or something for it, and he turned it down. Uh, so maybe he's thinking he should have sold it back then, but
did he say what the reason he was selling it was for?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay. So it's
Um,
still unknown. All right.
I think number one, he knew he could make a bunch of money, and number two, like a lot of people, if it's just sitting in his attic somewhere, it's not doing anybody any good. It's just going to rot and fall apart.
Did you know
Uh,
me and that PlayStation or me and that Nintendo PlayStation have been in the same room at the same time,
oh yeah,
within like a foot of each other?
they had it at BitCon once, didn't they?
Yeah, that's where I
Yeah,
was at for it.
yeah. I didn't go that
I
year,
think I
so
got to touch on the controllers. I think that was about all I got to do, though.
no. Speaking of large amounts of money, though, the Wonderful 101 Kickstarter ended this week as well.
Nice. Oh wait, I'm a
Uh,
backer. Of course I know this.
Platinum Games was looking for $50,000,
Give or take,
in
depending on the yen conversion
Kickstarter
at the time
funding,
that they started the Kickstarter.
and it ended up they don't need the money for the development costs.
No, they're just wanting money for whatever reason,
They're wanting to self-publish it and whatever.
which is
Um,
whatever reason, really.
yeah. So when all was said and done, though, the Kickstarter ended a little higher than $50,000.
2.2 million USD, right?
They made, yep, $2.2 million of their $50,000 goal.
It's a
So
lot.
I think they met it. This also meets a number of their stretch goals, including ports of the game to Steam and PS4. No Xbox One though. There was no. I was
Well, it's
curious to
Japan.
know.
They don't know the Xbox is a
That's
thing.
true. That's true. But Bayonetta's on the Xbox, so Platinum Games knows the Xbox exists.
Yeah, they do because they were developing Scalebound originally for Xbox.
So they did fall just short of an orchestral soundtrack for the game, which was I think at $2.5 million is what they were
Ah,
trying,
that's
or
fine.
$2.25 million, something like that.
Yeah, hold
They
on.
were
I
very
have the thing
close.
pulled up on here. Orchestral recordings at 2.25 million,
Yeah, they
and
were
at
very close.
2.5 new languages. And so
So
I guess
English.
that guess we'd have support for Japanese, English, and whatever other
Yeah,
ones or people would
I'm
have.
assuming that's going to be voice
It
acting and
says,
not
please let us know
just.
what language you would like to see in the comments.
Okay. So yeah, $2.2 million is not bad at all. Um, Capcom or somebody has decided that DuckTales should be sold again, and it is now no longer delisted. It is back on digital storefronts. DuckTales Remastered.
You know, if I had to guess, I'd say it was Disney decided it was fine.
That may be the case. Um, but regardless, the game is back on digital storefronts, and if you haven't played it, you really should because it's really good.
I played the original on the NES. That was pretty good.
Yeah, you and I were talking before the show that you weren't a big fan of like the visual style of this game.
Yeah, there's something about I don't know. It looks like moving stickers on a 3D background. It just bothers me for some reason.
Yeah.
Like I kind of get a similar thing with Paper Mario sometimes, but not really.
Mhm.
Like it's fun with that one. With whereas this, it just I don't know.
Well,
It
with Paper
looks. I
Mario,
guess it looks too good, is what I'm trying to get to.
they take that sticker theme and
I didn't play Sticker Star at all, so
oh, you're not missing much not playing Sticker Star, so don't worry about that.
life is so much better without that knowledge. Great, thanks.
But that flat look to the characters, it makes perfect sense. They play with the lore because of the flatness of the characters. They go with that arts and crafts visual style for the entire world. So it looks more natural there. I can understand why you think that, because you have
it's just some weird unnatural visualization for me on the DuckTales game there.
The really pretty 3D backgrounds with the high resolution characters who don't look like they have
flat. Yeah.
So I understand.
It's a negative look in my eye. I don't know why.
The game.
I have nothing against the game other than that. I've seen speed runs of it. It looks fine. Although the bosses look like they take too long to fight on the cycles, but whatever, that's fine. I mean, I grew up watching DuckTales. That was a good show.
Yeah, the original games, both of them on the NES, are really good. And I have the Game Boy ports of both of those as well, I think.
Oh man, Game Boy ports.
So those aren't quite as good as the NES versions, but
no, but it was something to keep your kid happy if you were a parent that needed to shuttle them up on a road trip.
So yeah, so I've played just about every version of DuckTales you can play.
Oh man, remember playing a Game Boy in the backseat of a car on a road trip?
Oh, I do. I played a lot of The Legend of Zelda on Game Boy.
I turned on my Game Boy Advance. I turned that on the other day, and it's just an Advance, it's not an SP, so there's no backlighting at all. And it's like, how did I play this? I can't see crap.
You had to make sure the sun was behind you.
It's like you're on your way home or something at night, and it's like you're like hoping for a street light so you can just see for that brief moment.
Holding a flashlight in your mouth, shining it at the screen.
Eventually you get one that I think it was like a little worm light or something that attaches to the side there.
Yeah, you can get something like that.
Good times.
Oh yeah. Well, you had to do some crazy creative things to play video games back in the early 90s. So.
That's the way it was, and we liked it.
That's right.
It's like, that's your Game Boy, just the stock model. Here's mine. You pull out like a boombox sized one. You're like, yeah, that's not even its final form.
You got the part that makes the screen look like it's 50 times bigger.
Yeah, the things that the button, the joystick attachment, the button attachments, the speakers. Oh man.
Game Boy camera for some reason, even though the game you're playing doesn't support it. So,
man, don't even get me started on the magnifying glass for the Game Gear. That thing turned into it looked like a studio camera by the time you had that all modified.
Yeah. Well, that system was so big.
Oh man, that had a TV tuner. That thing was nuts. And the external battery was like a belt clip thing that was the size of like your hand or something. It was like the size of the Game Gear itself. Man, 6 AA batteries in that thing already. But that thing was backlit and had color, and that made trips a lot more fun.
And the Game Boy was still better.
And that is true.
So, well, all right. Well, that will be the show for this week, Ethan.
Oh man. Sorry for all the tangents I went on there.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. So, thank you for being here. We'll be back again next week.
Bye, everyone.
If you want to reach out to us, we have new ways to do so. You can email us at procedurallygeneratedent@gmail.com. If you like what we do, you can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/PGENT. Patreon supporters get the video version of the podcast a day early. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/ProGenInt. Check out our YouTube channel, and we still have that famous Facebook group where you can interact with us on a daily basis as well.